From Baltimore, welcome inside Oriole Park. Major League Baseball on tap. It's the Houston Astros taking on the Baltimore Orioles. And we'll be back with the first pitch right after this. And getting the start for Baltimore, Shane Baz. And Chris, he's a guy that gets better when things get tough.
Yeah, his batting average against is actually better when he's in a jam. So we'll see if he continues to dance his way out of danger.
Just about to get underway. And here comes Carlos Correa.
Shortstop, number 1, Carlos Correa.
And we're underway in Baltimore.
Ball.
There's a 1-1. Hauls it in, and there's one away. Now we check out the Astros lineup. And Singy, I'm a bit surprised to see this many righties in the lineup against a right-hander.
Yeah, you're not the only one, Boog. I'm a bit surprised as well. And, you know, some hitters work well against same-handed pitching. You know, just back in 2024, Bobby Witt Jr., Vlad Guerrero Jr., and Aaron Judge all had higher batting averages against righties than they did against lefties. So maybe they got a plan after all.
Check swing, but he went too far. That's strike one. Fought off foul. Just underway from Baltimore. And that skips in the dirt. Softly hit to third, and that's a foul ball. Fly ball, pretty well struck right field. That one carrying. And it bangs off the out-of-town scoreboard. And he starts his afternoon off right with a double.
Good two-strike hitting right there, Boog. A bit of a lost start for some, so that was nicely done to beat the odds. He hit that ball really well to deep right field right there. Got a pitch to drive and just stayed through it nicely. Didn't quite have the trajectory to clear the fence, but you're always happy with an extra base hit.
One out, runner at second. Isaac Paredes up next for the Astros. And a breaking ball drops in for a strike.
Hitter's got some good opposite field power. What I like about something being hit to the right side into the outfield is that the base runner at second has a very good read and can determine whether or not he can score on that base hit.
Man at second. Hacks and misses. It's a strikeout.
That cutter right there had just enough movement on it to get the swing and miss. It wasn't a great location by any means. That's typically a spot that hitters can handle. So I'd say he fooled him with just enough of that late action.
Runner at second, 2 down. Swing and a liner foul off to the right. The 0-2.
Ball.
In the dirt.
Ball 2.
And a swing and a miss. And that's that. A double in the inning, but they leave him stranded. And now the O's will get their first crack at it. No score. Back here in Baltimore, and towing the mound for Houston in this one, Kai Ting. Chris, what should we keep an eye on here with him?
Well, they're going with the opener in this one, so this is an interesting look. He's probably only going to pitch an inning, maybe two at the most, and it's going to be unconventional. I think he's going to pitch backwards, more off speed, and then fastballs late.
Ripped right field. That's back there. That one way back, and it's gone. A solo shot. And the Orioles jump out in front. It's 1-0.
You can't ask for a better start than hitting a home run in your first at bat to give your team the lead.
That home run was a no-doubter as we dive into the numbers with StatCast.
Crushed. Just absolutely crushed. 112 miles per hour on the exit velo, and like you said, no doubt about that one. Plenty of launch angle to give it that backspin as well, and that carried way over the wall.
This one in the air, center field. Matthews under this one, and there's one down. All right, let's take a look at the Orioles lineup now. Singy, the numbers tell us this is an offense designed to swing it. They're not going to force a ton of action on the bases, and so obviously that is one of the focal points that we'll look at.
And you look at the quality of the at-bats because of the fact that the legs aren't a part of this game. They have to be very selective, look for long pitch counts, grinding out at-bats, and really barrels to the baseball because it's a lot easier to jog around the bases than for these players to sprint.
On the ground, right side. Oh, he gloves it to his knee. The throw. Safe at first as they can't make the play.
First baseman, Pete Alonso.
One down. And now it's the polar bear, Pete Alonso. Here's a guy who's been struggling so far this year. It's only late April, but still hoping he'll turn it around soon. Yo, one. Base knock, center field. They fired in quickly, so it's first and second with only one away.
Pitch was on the outside, didn't go the other way with it, but still a nice job of using the big part of the field to find a hole. No way he hits it that well if he hooks around the baseball there.
That one finds the corner. It's 0-1.
This might be the most pressure you put on this guy today. You got one run in, you got to try to get another one or maybe two.
2 on, 1 out. Strike two.
It's great to get on the board in the first frame of the ball game, but here's an opportunity for them to really open things up with a couple of runners on.
That got him.
Take first.
Here's Leody Taveras. Golden opportunity right here. Up the middle. Base hit. One run is in. Fires it to the plate. But it's offline. He will score. 3-0.
Oh, a huge 2 RBI swing of the bat right there. Nice swing to drive that pitch up the middle. Could have easily been out in front on the off speed and pulled off of it, but he was looking to use the big part of the field, and he executed his plan perfectly.
Misses just off the outside edge. I think that was a strike. Basallo, the lead runner, out at second. Taveras over at first with one away. 2 balls, no strikes to count.
Could be some action here on this next pitch. Couple runners on. Probably a challenge pitch coming.
2-0 to count. Here it comes.
Back-to-back breaking pitches away. You get the feeling as a hitter that the pitcher's afraid of you, that he doesn't want to challenge you. So I think the confidence level is raised right here.
Check swing went around. That's strike 1. 1 out. Runners at first and second. That one is absolutely belted. Carrying well. Gone into the flagpole. A 3-run dinger. It's their second home run of the inning, and they add to their lead. It's 6-0.
He's so good at getting his arms extended, and that's exactly what he did right there. You don't typically want to pull a pitch in that part of the plate, but he doesn't allow his wrists to roll over, stays through the ball, gets the loft, and gets the home run.
Manager out of the dugout now, and it looks like we'll see a change on the mound. Kaiwei Teng is done, and not exactly the performance they were hoping for from the opener. We'll be back after a quick break.
Now pitching for
A.J. Blueball will take over here.
Should be a good first matchup for him here. He's been doing a great job against right-handed bats so far this season. They've had a lot of trouble squaring him up.
Kobe Mayo now at the plate. And a foul ball. The 0-2. And there's 2 away.
batting ninth, second baseman, Jeremiah Jackson.
That one is hammered right field. That's going back. Back some more. And it is gone. A solo shot. Their third home run of the inning. And they add on. 2 pitches, 2 swings. That one for a home run.
Looking to be aggressive all the way, and it paid off for him in a big way. A good hitter gets pitch recognition early. He saw exactly where that was going to be. The challenge, not get over anxious and come out of your swing. He stayed on it and got all of it.
So back to the top of the Orioles lineup. Gunnar Henderson digs in now.
Coming off an absolute bomb in his last at bat.
Lined into left center. Should be extra bases. Now he'll turn for second. In safely. It's a double and his second hit.
2 hits for him in this one, both for extra bases. Got to feel good about that. Pretty much a model swing on that one as he ripped it into the opposite field gap, and I'm sure he's going to be watching that one back on video because that's the kind of swing you want to bottle. So many positives that led to that knock.
Outside. Ball 1. Man on second, 2 down.
When the skipper calls down to the bullpen, he's expecting the guy to come in and get outs. So far, not getting what he was hoping for.
Sliced hard but foul. Outside with a breaking ball. 3-2 now. Ward wants another look at the called strike. It's a challenge. Barely a hair out of the zone, but it was a ball. They'll keep both their challenges. So 2 down. Here's Adley Rutschman. He's 0 for 1.
That's the ball.
First and second, 2 down. Just missed. Two and one now, 2 aboard. Fouls one off out of play, back to our left. 2 on, 2 outs. Fouled off, and they'll do it again. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. That one ends the onslaught and the inning. But they take the lead on a huge 7-run outburst. Second inning coming up from Baltimore. It's the Orioles 7 and the Astros nothing. Back now at Oriole Park, and stepping in for the Astros, Christian Walker. This one smoked on its way out of here. He wastes no time on this one, and they cut into the deficit. He absolutely crushed that one.
No doubt about that one, Boog. We knew it wasn't coming back. Love to see a hitter aggressive on the first pitch of an at-bat. You watch him from the on-deck circle, so when you step in the box, you're ready to pull the trigger wherever it's at. Really good job by the hitter. Total conviction on that swing.
High fly ball lifted in the air right field. Beavers takes it in for the out. And there's one away.
It's a good recovery, though, after giving up the home run. Not allowing it to stay in the head, but going to work at the next hitter, and a tough one at that.
Here's the left fielder, Dustin Harris.
I can't play around with him here. It's a 6-run lead at this point. Got to attack hitters, even if you give up a solo shot.
The 1-0. Out towards right center field. Tracks it down for the out. 2 away down.
Batting 8th, right fielder, Cam Smith.
Ball 1.
2 down, base is empty, but 1 run across here at the top of the second.
High.
1-1 now.
Ball 2, up.
Just missed. On the ground. Dives and he can't hang on. And he'll just eat it. So that's an infield knock.
A little bit out in front of that off-speed pitch on the inside part of the plate, but he did just enough to drop it in fair down the line.
Man at first, Bryce Matthews. Up next for the Astros. And now the 0-1.
It's a tough pitch, but in terms of the best pitch you're going to get to hit in the at-bat, that fastball was down enough where you're going to catch up to one. That's the one. When he elevates, hitters aren't touching it.
And that's the inning. Astros notch a run on the solo homer. It's now 7-1. Bottom of the second. Here's the Oriole cleanup hitter, Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso.
Swing and a foul back, and that's out of play. Now.
Ball 1.
Making the calls behind the plate in this one is Woody Keller.
Yeah, and Woody does a pretty good job back there, Boog. He's got a pretty fair strike zone most of the time. Maybe some inconsistency here or there, but usually he's back there doing a solid job.
The 1-1. Ripped, but it curls foul. Knocks that one away, and we'll do it again.
Ball 2.
Got him. Leadoff man retired here in the second.
Frustrating end to the at-bat for the hitter, and I'm sure that's going to sit on him for a little while. You want to be ready to hit the fastball. Sometimes you can overthink things, and I think that was the case right there.
That one hammered, but pulled foul. The 0-1. Swing and a pop-up. Altuve settles under this one. 2 down.
Up next for the Orioles, center fielder, Leody.
And next for the Orioles, Leody Taveras. He drove in 2 with a single his first time up.
Ball.
Two down, nobody on.
Ball.
Ripped to right. And that's the 3rd out. Orioles held in check there, and they're on top 7-1. On to the third inning. Here's the Astros leadoff man, Carlos Correa. Well, Siggy here in Baltimore, and crab cakes. We need to get our hands on some crab cakes. You think we'll get someone to maybe run down for us and grab a few?
Absolutely. It's got to happen. Maryland crab cakes, the best. And you talk about the seasoning. Nobody does it better than the people here in the city of Baltimore. But even so, here at the ballpark, some great food.
Yeah, and I'm kind of partial to my guy Boog down there over that right field wall, and some barbecue, because Boog can fire up some pretty good barbecue.
Yeah, and I'm surprised we haven't seen any of that yet up here in the booth. Come on, man, let's go.
That one at the knees for a strike. Down to the dirt, swing and a miss. Got him. One away on the strikeout.
Well, obviously, that was nowhere near the strike zone by the time it got to the plate. And people at home watching are thinking, what's he swinging at? But I'll tell you, some of the break guys snap off these days is just devastating. It can be so tough to recognize where a pitch like that's going to end up.
Alvarez measures 6 feet 4 inches, 235 pounds, and he was born in Cuba. That one fouled off. Ball to strike. The pitch. Foul ball there. Strike 3, and that's 2 in a row.
Up next for the Astros, third baseman, Isaac Paredes.
2 down, bases empty. Now at the plate, Isaac Paredes. Went down on strikes his first time through. Swinging a foul out of play.
Come on, Shane.
Fastball is outside.
Let's go, Shane.
2 down, nobody on. Swing and a miss, struck him out. And he strikes out the side in the third. It's the Orioles 7 and the Astros 1. Back here in Baltimore, now it's the right fielder, Dylan Beavers.
Dylan Beavers.
You know, these Orioles putting together some really good at-bats in this game. There's been a lot to like with how they're approaching their chances at the plate. They jumped all over the starter and knocked him out of the game early. He just was never able to settle in, and the damage was done by the time he got the hook.
Ball.
I mean, when you're chasing the opposing starter in the first inning or two, that's just such a tone setter for the game. And it puts the other team back on their heels, and it instills a lot of confidence in your lineup from top to bottom.
3-0 down. And that drops in for a strike. Foul ball. And a payoff pitch. Swings through it for the K. That K is his third of the game.
He had him out in front, which isn't easy to do against a hitter like this, known for using the entire field. Just couldn't sit back long enough on that one.
Activity in the bullpen for Houston. Ryan Abreu, a right-hander with big strikeout stuff, is getting it fired up.
That's a ball.
Next offering in there for a strike. Now 1-2. Swings and misses. It's a strikeout. And that's 4 strikeouts.
Just a mid-90s challenge fastball right there. Not much to it. And I'm sure he'd love another swing at it because it was in a very hittable location. Those are the swings where you can sometimes start to question yourself as a hitter and say, how did I miss that? But you know what happens.
Jackson, the next to hit, takes ball 1. And that is out of play. Here's a 1-1. Swinging a foul straight back. One more time. Here's a 1-2. In the air, right field. Brings it in. And that will end the inning. It's the Orioles 7 and the Astros 1. Start of the 4th. So here's the Astros cleanup hitter, Jose Altuve.
Well, these Astros just lacking discipline at the plate in this ballgame. So many of their outs have come from weak contact on pitches they're chasing outside of the strike zone. You can't do much of anything with those locations, and that's been true again today.
The 1-1. Swing and a ball popped up. Jackson moving under this one. 1 away.
I just think the lack of drawing any walks is an indication that they need to be a little more selective and less anxious about forcing something to happen.
Ball.
And another ball.
A rare 3-ball count here. He's been throwing strikes all day. Got to be ready to hit if you're in the box.
That just missed. He walked him on 4 pitches.
It's tough after falling behind a hitter, 2 balls and no strikes, but now at least he gets a fresh start against a new batter. But he needs to get back into the strike zone and start pitching with conviction.
Diaz, batting with 1 down, takes a strike.
He's pitching well, but not throwing a ton of first pitch strikes. Usually doesn't work out for success, but you can never predict baseball.
Swing and a miss, and that's strike 2. That's a strikeout. Woody Keller says he won a round.
Well executed pitch on the outside part of the plate.
Dustin Harris.
First offering is fouled off. Late on that fastball.
Just not able to catch up to that velocity.
Pitch
Ball
misses
one.
there, and that is ball one. Walker leads off first with 2 down to the inning. Swing and a miss, and he chases that one in the dirt. That completes the strikeout, inning over. One left for Houston. They're down 7-1. Bottom of the inning. Here's the Orioles leadoff hitter, Gunnar Henderson.
Gunnar Henderson.
Ball one. Ball two.
And that is downstairs. Ball three. Right through there for a strike. No question about this one. It's out of here. Another homer. His second home run of the game, and they boost their lead. Singy, the ball is jumping off his bat.
Yes, it is. Tons of loud contact. Man, it's been impressive. Knew what pitch he wanted to hit. Spent on some other pitches in this at bat. Was very patient, and it paid off.
Now one missed.
The real threats are coming up. Already given up a home run in this inning. He's going to really have to bear down.
So a foul ball makes it 1-2. Nobody on, nobody out with a run in. We're here in the bottom of the fourth.
Way to lay off that fastball up right there. You're looking for something you see well that you can handle, but you also have to keep the discipline so that you're not popping up pitches that are just a little too high.
That's ripped. Base hit.
Up next for the Orioles.
So a man at first. And now it's going to be Adley Rutschman.
Ball.
The 1-0. And that one fouled off. The 1-1. That one pushed foul, out of play off to the left. High fly ball, right field. And he makes the catch.
Up next for the Orioles, first baseman, Pete Alonso.
Man at first, one away. And it's fouled away. The 0-2. Popped up. He makes the grab.
Up next for the Orioles, catcher Samuel Basallo.
And into the box for Baltimore, Samuel Basallo. Fastball for a strike. Next offering is fouled back. And that skips in the dirt.
0-2 count. You got the opportunity to expand the zone. Could get the chase there. Let's see what he comes back with next. Recognize that changeup right out of the hand. Just spit on it.
This one in the air right field, and that's a fair ball. Lead runner around second, and that'll put runners at the corners with 2 away.
Up next for the Orioles, center fielder Leody Taveras.
That one fouled off. Two on, 2 outs. Late with the swing there. Swing and a high fly ball deep left field. That one is foul, and he'll see another. Here's the 0-2. Battling here as he fouls it away. Runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Really good take, especially with 2 strikes.
Fouls it off, still 1-2.
Five foul balls in this at bat so far, and these two are going head to head. You can see the crowd. They're starting to get into it a little bit more and more each pitch, even though there hasn't been a ball in play yet.
Check swing, trying to hold up. Now an appeal to third. Did not go. 9th pitch of the at-bat due next. And they'll do it again. Two down. Got him looking. That ends the inning and stops things from getting out of hand. Solo homer brings in 1 for Baltimore. It's now 8-1. Back here in Baltimore and stepping in for the Astros, Cam Smith.
Well, these Astros, as this game goes on, have to be more disciplined at the plate. They've been chasing pitches outside the zone all game, and it's led to some frustrating moments. They've been fooled quite a bit today.
This one popped up. Foul ground, first base side. And a quick out, number one.
And as a pitcher, when the hitters are swinging at everything, you feel no need to challenge inside the zone. You just keep working the corners and expanding that strike zone and beyond, and they just keep eating right out of your hand.
Off the plate.
The Orioles up big in this one, and we're at the top of the fifth.
Ball.
Pop foul out of play off to the right. The 2-1. Right through there for a strike. Foul ball, another 2-2 upcoming. Got him swinging for the K. Strikeout number 8.
Up next for the Astros.
And here's a look at how he's using his pitches in this one. So the Houston lineup turns over. Now Correa up to hit. Just missed. This one in the air right field, and that'll fall for a base hit. And they have their first hit since the second inning.
Up next for the Astros, the designated hitter, Yordan Alvarez.
That misses the zone. Ball 1. Yeah, that's fouled off. Gets him to chase after that one.
Pretty impressive. We haven't seen that pitch from him much, but he's got a really good feel when he throws it.
Ball.
Good eye right there.
Great RBI spot here. Just got to stay focused on the pitch. The runner will be in motion, so something in the gap should definitely score it.
That's foul off to the right side. Keeps the AB going. Correa off of first with 2 away. Gets a piece and stays alive. Payoff pitch. The kick, the 3-2. Rip to third. Toss to Alonso. That is the inning. So the Astros lead 1. It's still an 8-1 ball game. Back now at Oriole Park. The spray chart shows us an impressive power display from this lineup. 4 homers so far.
And Boog, it's been a fun time in the right field bleachers with all those balls heading out that direction. Seems like a good day to be a lefty slugger.
You know, these Orioles, digging into their numbers, have to be happy with the swings they're taking. They have 5 extra base hits on the stat sheet so far, and that tells me they're seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hand really well.
Ball.
With all those extra base hits, it's easy to think we're going to see that trend continue the rest of the game. They seem to be really locked in at the plate.
Left field. And there's one down.
Up next for the Orioles, third baseman, Kobe Mayo.
Mayo wants to challenge this, thought it was a ball. And the strike is overturned after review. Still 2 challenges left for them. This one popped up. Diaz has a beat on it. He's there. He's got it. 2 away.
Up next for the Orioles, second baseman, Jeremiah
Manager out of the dugout, and he's going to make a change. A.J. Blueball won't go any further. We'll be back in a minute with a new arm on the mound.
Now pitching for Houston,
Brian Abreu gets the ball now.
And with the big
Abreu.
deficit on the scoreboard, he almost has to just put that out of his mind. Every outing matters for relievers and their numbers, but I think it's tough to get up for this type of appearance the same way you would for one in a close game.
2 outs, base is empty. Here's the second baseman, Jeremiah Jackson. He's already homered in this game.
Looks like he sacrificed a pitch right down the middle for tracking and timing. Some good hitters will do that.
Late on that fastball.
When you throw a fastball by a guy like that, I imagine it's got to feel incredible. Look for him to throw it again at some point.
2 down, nobody on. Cut on and miss. Struck him out. And that'll do it. Nothing doing this time around for the O's. And it remains an 8-1 game. Welcome back. A few highlights to help tell the story of the game. So up next,
Leading off for
Isaac
Houston,
Paredes.
third baseman, Isaac Paredes.
Ball.
First sign of movement in the Orioles bullpen, Keegan Aiken. The left-handed reliever appears to be getting loose. Number 66, a right-hander, loosening up as well. Ground ball up the middle. Dives, but it kicks off his glove. The throw won't get there in time, and they don't get an out on the play.
Second baseman.
Hey, I got to give him credit for busting it down to first to beat out that hit. Speed is obviously not a big part of his game.
Swings and misses at the pitch off the plate. The 0-1. High High fly ball lifted in the air right field. Takes it in for the out.
Up next for the Astros, first baseman Christian Walker.
And now it's Christian Walker. He's already homered here in this one.
No, that's down.
Paredes leads off first with one away. Sharp grounder, that's through for a base hit. Taveras returns it to the infield. Lead runner holds at second base. First and second with one down. Strike on the inside corner. Runners at first and second with one gone, and we're in the top half of the sixth. On the ground to the left.
Ball.
And foul ball. Gets a piece there. We'll do it again. And that's too high. Got him swinging.
I mean, there aren't many curveballs in the sport today that break like that thing does. Huge movement. It's so difficult to get on the same plane and even think about squaring it up, let alone get a piece and hope he throws something else to keep the at-bat alive.
Dustin Harris up next for the Astros.
Let's go, Shane.
Yep.
Two outs. Couple of base runners at first and second.
Ball one.
Here we go, Shane.
Swings through that one. It's a strikeout.
Couple of strikeouts with runners on. Sometimes you got to really bear down, and he did just that. Nice job of getting out of the jam and out of the inning.
Leading off.
Here's the Orioles leadoff hitter, Gunnar Henderson. He's got a couple homers already, so can he possibly do it again?
Come on, man. Of course he can. Those two he hit were legit, and he looks pretty locked in right now at the dish.
High fly ball, right field. This could go the distance. Home run. And he's gone yard again. That's his third home run of the game. And they add to their lead. That one just sounded different.
And might have been the loudest moment yet. Man, my ears are ringing. I can feel that swing from the booth. He's putting on quite the show at the dish here in this one, and he's just so locked in with this swing, and he's just not missing right now. 3-homer game, man, it's so special. And I tell you what, it's a lot of fun watching him pull it off as well.
plenty of offense in this one, Singy. I guess you'd say kind of what we expected, though.
Well, this was a game, looking at the pitching matchup, where you expected offense to score, and not as lopsided as this. But, yeah, you definitely expected to see some offense coming up.
Action in the pen down there. Brian King getting ready to go. Abreu, 6'1" righty. He features a four-seam fastball, a slider, and he works in a sinker. Goes down swinging for the strikeout. And that's the first out. Nice recovery after giving up the homer.
Came after him with the fastball on 0-2, and that's a pretty good demonstration of what power pitching is all about. He's got the stuff, obviously, and right there he used it to put his opponent away without needing to waste any pitches.
Rutschman in the box as he fouls off the first pitch.
Ball.
Swing and a miss as he was late that time. Fights it off. He'll see another.
This guy's a fun guy to watch taking at bat. He just battles up there. He doesn't take a pitch off at all. Makes it so difficult on the pitchers out there. You can tell they get frustrated with how long it takes to put him away.
Foul ball left side. He'll see another.
Well, he missed a hittable off-speed pitch right there. Not sure exactly with the timing. Sometimes you get a backup breaking ball. You're expecting it to make its move at the end. It never does, and you're tied up.
Lifted in the air, left field, pretty well struck. Harris takes it in for the out. And there are two outs.
Up next for the Orioles.
Here's Pete Alonso, 1 for 3.
With this kind of lead, he can swing freely, try to hit the ball out of the park, do what he loves to do.
No.
There's a swing and a drive. That one outs against the fence. The relay, save.
With that fastball, even though it's high velocity, you've got to live on the outer edges. When it's right on a tee, right down the middle, professional hitters are not going to have a problem turning it around.
Here comes the manager out of the dugout, and he'll make a move for the bullpen. Brian Abreu departs, and he's responsible for the runner on second, so the book isn't closed on him yet. We'll be right back.
Now pitching for Houston.
So they turn to the lefty in this spot, Brian King.
I think it's got to be a little tough coming in out of the pen when your guys are trailing so big on the scoreboard. Just doesn't have the same intensity to it, but he's got to find a way because these batters count the same for his stats, obviously, regardless of the score.
Runner at second, 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. And that's in for a strike. And it's 0-2.
Ball.
Struck him out swinging. Good job at damage control right there. Solo homer brings in one for Baltimore. And this is now a 9-1 ball game.
Now pitching.
Welcome back. We're in the 7th. We have a new pitcher on the mound, Keegan Aiken.
And you know, bullpen guys can struggle sometimes when they're called upon with big leads because it just doesn't have the same intensity as a tight game. So we'll see how sharp he is. Your mental toughness matters in situations like this as well.
Cam Smith getting ready to hit. 1 for 2.
Ball.
Swing and a miss as that one was high. Close, but called a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a foul ball. He stays alive. Comes a 2-2. Got him swinging. He chased the changeup and 1 out now.
Got him out on the front foot. Couldn't keep the hands back long enough and played right into the hands of the pitcher.
That's a ball. Outside.
That one misses. Ball 3. The Astros with a lot of ground to make up here in the top half of inning number 7. And a 4-pitch walk.
4 pitches. That's an easy walk, man. He could have walked me right there, Boog. The last one wasn't even close.
Back to the top of the order. Carlos Correa, the next to hit. There's a strike. 95 of that one.
Some hitters are just more confident if they can track that first pitch out of the hand of the pitcher. They don't care if they fall behind 0-1.
Matthews, the base runner at first with 1 out. Sharp grounder. That's through for a base hit. Quick throw back in. Lead runner holds at second with 1 gone.
For the Astros, the designated hitter, Jordan Alvarez.
Ball outside.
Two on, 1 out.
He's trying to stay away from this lefty, knowing that a lot of left-handers like the ball down and in.
Good eye at the plate. They'll overturn the call. So they've still got both their challenges. Just missed. Runners at first and second with 1 gone. And that'll load the bases.
Pretty easy walk right there. Last pitch wasn't even much to think about.
Third baseman, Isaac Paredes.
So next up for Houston, Isaac Paredes. Big swing and a drive. Deep left field. That's back there. Out of here. And that's a grand slam. A 4 spot on the board. It's 9-5.
That home run narrows the gap between these two. This one isn't over yet. Well, a great job here of staying within himself. You know that if you get a knock, you're going to drive in a couple. So stay focused on that. Well, he does more than just a knock. Hits the grand slam to drive in 4. Really good job at the plate.
Here comes the skipper, and we're going to see a pitching change in this spot. Keegan Aiken gives way, and as he heads off, we'll step aside for a minute. Back with the new pitcher after this break.
Now pitching.
So a new arm out of the bullpen for the Orioles, Yennier Cano. He has a great slider with tons of movement. Swing and a base hit.
Up next for the Astros, first baseman.
Runner on at first with 1 gone. Christian Walker up next for the Astros. And there's a breaking ball that drops in there. Foul ball. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Well, that's the effect of the splitter that you're looking for on the mound. Really nice pitch right there and had him out in front over the top. I'm sure the batter was thinking he was getting something else, perhaps a fastball with a little more straight and velo to it.
That's ripped into the outfield. That's a fair ball, and it's getting into the corner. Rounds third, headed for the plate. Relay throw home. There's the tag. They get him, and that's the inning.
Man, I think his legs are feeling good in this one. He really tried to stretch it there to go from first all the way to home, but he ran out of steam a little bit as he came around third. Great relay from the defense, a quick tag at the plate, and they cut down the run.
Back here in Baltimore, well, it's been a fun game for fans who love homers. These teams are teeing off, as we can see from the spray chart.
Yeah, it seems like days like this get pitchers questioning their life choices, Boog. Any fan who goes for a bathroom break is at risk of missing another dinger.
Bunt attempt, popped up, reaching for it, makes the catch. Well, he gave the bunt a shot there, but not able to execute.
Yeah, I think he rushed it a little bit, and when guys rush, it can be a pop-up or it can be bunted right back at a position player.
So next to hit for Baltimore, Dylan Beavers. He's done some damage, launched a homer at his first at bat back in the first.
Yeah, that was a tone setter, no doubt. I mean, you can stomach an early solo homer, but a 3-run shot just doesn't go down quite as smooth.
That one's in there, 0-1. Fastball for a strike. And he hits a ground ball right side. Walker takes it to the bag. Play is made, 2 out.
Up next for the Orioles, third baseman, Kobe Mayo.
2 down, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the 7th. And now 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's got good numbers swinging at pitches in that location.
Stays alive. Fights that one away. Still 1 and 2. Two down, nobody on. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for the Orioles as they can't add to their 9-5 lead. Ready to begin the 8th. And stepping in for the Astros, Dustin Harris. Ball 1, no strikes. And a strike on the outside edge.
He's been able to go inside as well as outside, effectively working both sides of the plate in this at bat.
Keeps the at bat going with a foul ball. And a 1-2 again. On the ground, out to short. Handles, throws to first, and that's one away as the leadoff man is out in the 8th.
Talk about being able to dial up the velocity. That first baseman over there might need a little pad inside that first baseman's mitt.
That breaking ball drops in for a strike.
Dangerous spot for that slider right there. Didn't seem to quite finish out front and get that sharp break. Tell you what, he doesn't want to throw that pitch again.
That one's upstairs, ball 1. The Orioles leading by 4, and we're in the top of the 8th. Out towards right center field. Taveras on his way over. Pulls it down, and he makes the catch. Out. Number 2.
That's just a really nice catch on the run right there. He saved extra bases for sure. If the pitcher's his friend, he'll give him a second to catch his breath before he's ready to deal the next pitch.
Manager out of the dugout now, and it looks like we'll see a change on the mound. Yennier Cano done for the afternoon, and as he heads for the dugout, we'll take a quick break. New arm on the mound when we get back. Number 66 gets the call from the pen. He's into the game with the bases empty. Bryce Matthews will hit next.
Here we go, Tony. Hey.
Two down, nobody on. The 1-2. Cuts and misses. It's a strikeout. Astros are down quietly. They trail it by 4. It's 9-5.
Now pitching for Houston,
Ryan Weiss
number
comes on
51.
now.
Well, he's a big-time strikeout guy out there. This season, averaging more than one per inning.
Leading off for the Orioles, second baseman, Jeremiah Jackson.
Ball. Ball 2. Hey.
And that's in for a strike.
Looked pretty good as far as being in the strike zone, but I'm sure as a hitter, not too good with where it was located. Very top of the strike zone, middle away.
Here's the 2-2. That one back up the middle, and it gets through. Man aboard on the leadoff single.
Up next for the Orioles, the shortstop, Gunnar.
Here's the Orioles leadoff hitter, Gunnar Henderson. And a chance to make some history here, Chris.
Yeah, he's homered 3 times so far, and now he gets another chance. At least we think. We'll see if the pitcher gives him anything to hit. It's so rare to see a 3-homer performance, but even more special for that player to get another chance at the plate to do it again for 4.
No, that's
Activity
a
in
ball.
the Houston
Too low.
bullpen. Bennett Sousa, the left-hander, is getting that big fastball of his ready to go.
He must have been looking for something else because he gave up on that pitch a little early. It was right down Main Street. Probably not going to see a better pitch to hit in this at-bat. Definitely a swing and miss slider down and in. He finished that really well. Just couldn't get him to offer at it.
Upstairs.
Ball 3.
Full count now. And it's fouled off. They'll do it again. Jackson gets his lead at first. Nobody out. Swings through it, and that's a strikeout.
Oh, there he gets the slider in on his hands, and it just eats him up. You know, it's hard to get the bat around on a pitch like that in tight. You just feel like you're crowded on the inside part of the plate. Can't get any extension. That's what he definitely should have laid off of.
Hey.
Now he's challenging the called strike. And that one just barely missed. The call is overturned. They'll keep both their challenges.
Got to be real careful here. 2-0. He's hunting for his pitch.
Here's a 2-0. And
No,
another
that's a
ball.
ball.
Catcher challenge. We'll take another look. And on further review, it was a strike. Still 2 challenges left for them. Foul ball there. Still 2-2 after the foul ball. That's to third. Paredes to second. Double play. What a twin killing to end the inning. No runs, one hit, no errors, and no one left. Ninth inning coming up. The Orioles on top, 9-5. Last chance coming up here for the Astros. Back now at Oriole Park. All set to start the ninth in this one. Here's Carlos Correa.
No,
And an
outside.
ABS challenge coming from behind the dish. Pretty close, but it was a ball. One challenge remaining for them now. And the 1-0.
Ball 2.
Liner caught it second.
It's never fun going back to the dugout after hitting a line drive that finds a glove, but you will get some high fives. You know, when you make great contact, you feel like you've done everything right. But in this game of baseball, not everything is in your control. First pitch changeup, he gets a called strike. You got to really know who that hitter is at the plate in order to throw that pitch again and again. If you're on the mound right now, you know you have to retire this hitter. If he gets on base, it could open up the floodgates for this offense to score some runs.
Here's a 1-1. Right through there for a strike. One down, base is empty here in the ninth. Good job to fight that one off.
Flew open a little bit with that front shoulder, but was able to slow his bat down just enough to make contact with that pitch, keep the at-bat alive.
Got him looking. And just one out remaining for Houston. Didn't seem like that one found the zone. Here's a challenge. And they don't come much closer, but it was a ball. So they've still got both their challenges. Misses
Ball.
inside. Full count now. The Orioles leading by 4 here at the top of the ninth. Cuts on it and misses. That's a strikeout. And now the Astros are down to their final out. Isaac Paredes up next for the Astros.
Ball, no. Hey.
They're down to their final strike.
Man, he really sells the changeup with that arm action.
Oh, that hit him. On to first. Ball game. And the Orioles slug their way to a win in this one.
Well, this team was ready from the first pitch of the ball game. Swinging the bats, scoring runs, just very aggressive. I feel like they set the tone, and that tone created a momentum that took them all the way to the finish line. Nice win today.